This is a reinforcement learning policy that I trained entirely in simulation running on hardware. No manual tuning, no PID controllers, just a policy trained in MuJoCo transfers straight to a real motor. But no one said it was easy. Sim-to-real transfer sounds straightforward until you realize every single thing has to go right for this process to work. In this video, I'll give you an overview of the full pipeline from simulation setup, training, and deployment to real hardware. But if you want the complete implementation, every reward iteration, sensor characterization, curriculum learning approach, all the debugging that actually made this work, I put everything in a step-by-step guide, link in the video description. This right here is called the Rotary inverted pendulum. You might be wondering exactly what is the purpose of this design? Well, maybe you think it's a kung fu robot? No, it's mostly to learn reinforcement learning. So what makes this platform a really good platform is that it only has one motor and one encoder here to read the position of this pendulum. This makes the control problem relatively easy compared with a humanoid robot. So this is why this makes a really good platform to start learning reinforcement learning. So first I had to design all the parts in SolidWorks, which I showed to my YouTube members. Then I brought the model over into MuJoCo so I could start simulating it. So first I made sure my frames matched up correctly. But more importantly, I wanted to make sure I can control it properly using the torque. So now we're ready to do some training for our RL model. We went ahead and did some different experiments playing around with the rewards until we finally got something that seemed to let it balance at the top, or so we thought. The ultimate test would be running this on hardware, so let's go ahead and put together our rotary inverted pendulum. So when I put the rotary inverted pendulum together, nothing went according to plan. So the first thing I had to verify was that when I had this pendulum hanging straight up and when I let go, it should swing freely like you see right now. But the problem is when I first assembled it, it would just get stuck here. And the problem was that when I had these two bearings all the way through, the shaft going all the way through, it would get stuck. So I ended up having to shift this whole assembly a little bit forward so that it would just rely mostly on the first bearing. That way there's less alignment necessary to actually hold this shaft here. So because I brought this out, it would hit this clamp that I had here. So therefore I ended up having to add an extra piece. And make sure you have an e-stop here because if something bad happens, you want to make sure to stop your motor. So when I first started running on hardware, you notice that it barely moves. So I thought I could just keep increasing the torque limit until it would eventually swing up. But it would never hold up on the top no matter what I did. I was about to give up until I realized there might be something wrong with my encoder reading. I was using an Arduino to do some of my encoder readings, and what I found out was that a lot of my readings would get stuck and it wouldn't read properly. So what I ended up doing was I got my O drive here to do some of the reading, and this gave me some pretty reliable readings, so I ended up with this solution. So after I swapped it with the O drive, initially it still was behaving similar to before, but then after I revisited my training process and did more tests on hardware, you could see it started to balance a little bit more, but the problem was the result wasn't very consistent. It started to hold up on the top a little bit, but sometimes it would still fail. This is where I went back to the drawing board and did some serious analysis on my data and played around with a lot of my training process until I finally got some better results. So at this point you can see that it's starting to balance a little bit more, but not quite as long as I wanted. So I ended up changing the training so that I could emphasize on longer balancing time. So finally, after this last adjustment, you can see that it's able to balance for quite a long time. In fact, I let the model run for an entire 5 minutes to see if it's able to balance during this whole time. We took it one step further and did some disturbance testing. And you can see as I push it, it can recover from my pushes pretty well. So you can see that the policy is trained pretty robustly, and even if it falls, it swings back up pretty fast. But I thought the ultimate test would be if it can balance a cup of water. So let's try that. Only only press it if it like spills, after it spills and it keeps moving. Otherwise, you don't need to press it.
I'm scared. Don't spill, don't spill.
Remember, only when it spills. Don't do it too early. Oh my god, it's working. And here's another take where I was a little bit overly ambitious. Let's see what happens. So overall, I was actually quite impressed that I was able to balance with a cup of water, because I actually never trained this with any disturbances. So if I did train it, which I described in my document, that if I did apply forces during training, it would definitely be much more robust. So considering that I did none of that training, the performance that we saw was quite impressive. And big thanks for PCBWay for all of these 3D printed parts. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check them out for your 3D prints. So on my website, I have the code and doc for this project. It's going to have the SolidWorks parts, the STL files, and a complete code base that has the hardware deployment, simulation inference, the training pipeline, the train model checkpoints, the gymnasium environment, the MuJoCo models, and how I do the sensor characterization and analysis tools. The document is going to contain a README that tells you how to do the software and hardware setup, how to set up your MuJoCo model, matching simulation to hardware, training for hardware deployment, and hardware deployment and debugging techniques. So what you should be able to do by the end of this is build accurate MuJoCo models that enable hardware transfer, train RL policies that work on real robots, not just simulation, systematically debug sim-to-real failures, and apply this method to more complex robots like humanoids and quadrupeds. And if you're new here, my name is Kevin. I've been doing robotics and AI for 10 plus years and have lots of resources on my channel. I also have a robotics builders membership where you get deep dive access to how I build my projects. And also resources on my website to help you get started, link down below.